It's that time of the year. The season starts on Thursday, and I always wait to the last possible point to let you guys know what I think the Miami Dolphins record is going to be. Let's jump into this. What is up, fans? It's here. Sunday, 4:20 p.m. The Miami Dolphins are heading to LA to take on them Chargers. Now, I honestly think that the Dolphins are probably leaving tomorrow to head to LA. That would be the smart thing to do, being that they are playing in the West Coast and they have more time to prepare for it. But a big game. But that's not what this video is about. This video is about my yearly record prediction. And before we jump into that, though, I do have to shout out today's sponsor. And I have to thank them, like usual, for helping out on the channel, partnering with them. That's Clean the World. Sean Seipler and his company doing fantastic things for people in need with building these kits that I show you every time, with this toothbrush and the shampoo and the toothpaste and the bar soap and pair of socks. Fantastic things helping people in third world countries, natural disasters, and the homeless, and just people in need. Go check them out, cleantheworld.org. And Sean, again, thank you so much for sponsoring this video. So, this is the 5th year. I've been doing this for 5 years, the channel in a whole. Yeah, 5 years now. This is the 5th year I've given you my record prediction. The 5th year. And I went back and I was like, how far off are my record predictions? Because you guys know I like to wait till the last possible minute to give you a record prediction, because a lot could change throughout preseason and off-season. Heck, Jalen Ramsey goes down. We're not going to have him for the first half of the season. That's a huge impact on facing some of these teams. So I wait, and I always wait. And I was like, how far off? How far off? So I'm going to start from my very first one in 2019, and I'm going to go to my last year one. So 2019 was the year we were rebuilding. We tore it down. I gave you a record prediction of best case scenario 8-8, worst case scenario 6-10. The Miami Dolphins went 5-11. I wasn't that far off, right? Then the second year, the Miami Dolphins, they get Tua Tagovailoa. They add the pieces: Austin Jackson, Noah Benogany, Robert Hunt, Brandon Jones. You know, they add all these pieces. I said your worst case scenario 7-10, your best case scenario 10-6. They went 10-6. Whoop, nailed that one. Then the 2021 year, I was like, hey, we're getting back in the groove. We know what we're doing. I said worst case scenario 10-7. I said your best case scenario 12-5. Boom, they went 9-8. I was a little bit off on that worst case scenario, which we dealt with. We had some injuries and stuff, but not far off. And then this past year, rookie head coach Mike McDaniel, Tua Tagovailoa again in another new system. Josh Boyer, is it his defense or was it Flores? It was Flores. And I said your best case scenario, the Miami Dolphins will go 11-6. And I said your worst case scenario, 9-8. And to me, losing Tua Tagovailoa for 5 games, you saw how drastic a team is. That's your worst case scenario. Boom, 9-8. So I will say this. I'm not going to pat myself on the back or say I'm, Notre Dame or anything. But my record predictions are pretty good. I remember, I think it was 2021. I said that the Dolphins were going to sweep the Patriots. And that rubbed some people the wrong way. And what happened that year? We swept the Patriots. So, again, not saying I'm Notre Dame. Pretty good. I'm pretty good at making somewhat of a prediction and somewhat of an understanding of what the season's going to kind of look like. So let me minimize myself, and we're going to jump into the season and try to predict what I think the Miami Dolphins record is going to be like. We're starting week 1. Like I said, we're heading over to LA. It's a 4:20 game. Sucks they don't have the times on here. I wish they had the times on here. But This is a big game. I'm not going to go too in-depth with the Chargers game because I have a whole preview on Sunday where I'm going to go real in-depth, give you my honest opinion, give you my rah-rah speech, all that stuff. I will just say I think the Dolphins will win this one. I think Vic Fangio is going to be able to do his thing, and I think a healthy team, healthy Tua, healthy Tyreek Hill, Jalen Waddle, Raheem Mostert, all that stuff, I think they pull this one off. Now, am I going to say a blowout or anything? You'll have to wait till Friday to find out. Next one, Miami Dolphins heading to New England to face the Patriots in September. I'm going with the Miami Dolphins in this one. I still think New England has a very good defense, still have a very good rush offense, but the Dolphins have a very good rush defense. So I'm going with the Miami Dolphins in this one. Also, not to jinx it, the Patriots have never beat Tua Tagovailoa. So there's that. Then they're home. Now, this game is going to be interesting. Vic Fangio facing his old team, and for the first time since he got fired, you have Russell Wilson now with Sean Payton. Sean Payton, you know, the fact that our owner is a doo-doo butt and got us to lose a first-round pick because you talked to Sean Payton and Tom Brady. This is going to be an interesting game. But again, they have some hiccups to get over. They have a lot of things to work on. Now, the Broncos are going to have a good defense, but so are the Dolphins, in my opinion. But I'm going to go with Miami. I just think the Dolphins have the upper edge, being that it's a September game in Miami. I think that's my biggest, I think they're a very evenly matched team, but I think it's a Sunday 1 o'clock game in Miami. And I'm just giving the edge to the home team. Then the Miami Dolphins head up to Buffalo. This is going to be a hard game, and I do think the Buffalo Bills are going to take this one. Playing in Buffalo is just different. I know it's still going to be, I think this is October 1st, but I'm going to give it to Buffalo. I think that, we're going to split there. Then they come home. I'm going to be at this game. This is the game I'm going to be at. October 8th, 1 p.m., Miami Dolphins taking on the Giants. They got to take on Waller, who's been very good for them in preseason. Danny Dimes, Saquon Barkley. I'm trying to, not to be disrespectful to the Giants or the Giant fans, but I can't really think of your wide receiving core. I have the Dolphins taking this one. Again, home games are different, especially 1 o'clock. Then they take on the Panthers. Bryce Young team, you don't have DJ Moore anymore. They're really starting over fresh. It's going to be a whole new team. I think Vic Fangio is going to do his thing and get in their head. So I have them winning that game. Then we head to Philly to take on the Eagles. I think the Eagles defense is really good. I think Jalen Hurts fits perfectly in the offense they have with Kelsey at center, Godert at tight end. My brain just didn't want to work. You have very good wide receivers in Smith and A.J. Brown. I'm giving this one to the Eagles. I think this is going to be a very hard game. I think it's going to be a very close game, but I'm going to give this one to the Eagles. Then New England heads to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Oh, just so you know, this one is a primetime Sunday night game. I forgot to tell you, week 2. And this is a Sunday night game. So they got 2 Sunday night games. Boom, boom, boom. I say they win one. I say they lose the other. Then on 1 o'clock on October 29th, they're home. It's still going to be pretty hot there. The Patriots don't play well in Miami, so I think there's a sweep there. Then the Dolphins head over to Germany to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. This is going to be a good game. Unfortunately for Tyreek Hill, he's not going to be able to head back to Kansas City, Missouri, to go back to his old home and throw up the deuces while he's running a touchdown. This one's interesting. Now, it's going to be a hard game, but the Chiefs have to travel to the West Coast, and then after that game, I think it's a short week for them too, have to travel to Germany. That might mess with them a little bit. I think this was going to be another close game, but I think the Kansas City Chiefs winning this one. I think Andy Reid, Patrick Mahomes, Travis Kelce, they're just too good. They're just a very good team. Hey, they might have a setback after another Super Bowl victory, but to me, it's just they're a good team. Heading into the bye 6-3, You might say to yourself, 6-3 headed into the bye. There's no way, Doug. They headed into the bye last year at 7-3. So I have them at 6-3 heading into the bye there. Coming out of the bye, they are home taking on I almost said Oakland Raiders, taking on the Las Vegas Raiders. We will know at this point what the Raiders are. Is Jimmy Garoppolo doing good? Is Josh McDaniels a bad head coach? What is the whole situation there? I'm giving the Dolphins the nod, especially because they're home, and the Vegas Raiders, last time they were facing Miami at home, were throwing up on the field and were complaining about the heat. I know this takes place in November 19th, but I still give the Dolphins the nod, especially if that rush defense takes off. And I expect at some point around this time, Jalen Ramsey's coming back. So all of a sudden we got Jalen Ramsey back. They have Devontae Adams. We got Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey to me is coming back. Then we head on a Black Friday, the dumbest game. Not the dumbest game, but the dumbest time to play game on Black Friday. First time facing the Jets, Aaron Rodgers. We'll know what they are. At this point in the season, this is where you really get to see what the teams are. This is where you really get to pick the teams properly. We will know what they are. Is Aaron Rodgers Aaron Rodgers? Has he regressed a little bit? Is he still healthy? Is that offensive line keeping him upright? We will know, but I'm going to give, even though, again, I'll get to semantics after I pick the games, even though the Jets have never beaten Tua Tagovailoa, I'm going to give this one to the Jets. I think that, playing in I call it the Meadowlands so much, but playing at Citi Field is hard. And, if Aaron Rodgers is still, Aaron Rodgers, I think that helps them, and their defense is still pretty good. Then we head to Washington to face the Commanders. Very good defense, but their quarterback situation and their offense, and then, Ron Rivera, they don't know what's going on there. I have the Dolphins winning that one. Then we come home for a 3-game stretch at home. Monday Night Football. Ryan Tannehill comes back to Miami to take on the Dolphins. Is Derrick Henry healthy? Is he playing this game? Who is the quarterback? Is it still Ryan Tannehill? Is Will Levis in there? Is Malik Willis in there? Who is it? I have the Dolphins taking that one. Then the Jets come to Miami after playing them 2 weeks prior. I have the Dolphins taking that one. I have them splitting with the Bills and the Jets, and I have them sweeping the Patriots. Now, the Patriot one could go either or, but again, I always give you best case and worst case scenarios. Then the Dolphins are hosting the Dallas Cowboys on Christmas Eve. I will not be live streaming this game because it's flipping Christmas Eve. But at 4:25, they'll be hosting the Dallas Cowboys. This is going to be a tough game. This one can go either or. Again, it all depends on a lot of things. I will get to that. But I have the Dolphins taking this one. I think they start to get red hot. Then they head to Baltimore, 1 o'clock on New Year's Eve to take on the Baltimore Ravens. It is going to be cold. The Ravens are going to be fighting hard for their playoff spot. Same with the Dolphins. I'm giving this one to the Ravens. I think in the cold and playing hard, and I think Lamar is going on a revenge tour. I think the Ravens pull this one off, but I don't think it's a butt whooping. Then finally, the Miami Dolphins host the Buffalo Bills. I already told you guys I have them splitting that one there. So overall, to me, best case scenario, and what I mean by best case scenario is Tua plays full 17 games. Jalen Ramsey comes back and is, there is no hiccup in his step. The defense I think it's going to take a minute for the defense to really start to click, right? Around probably like week 5, we're home. I think they could take it like a hot minute to click. The offense, no mishaps or anything. Like best case scenario, I have the Miami Dolphins going 12-5. Worst case scenario, the Dolphins lose Tua at some point, or there's a huge regression, or Mike McDaniels just keeps messing up and something happens. I have them going 9-8, 8-9. So it's a little bit bigger of a gap. It's about I usually give you about 3 games. Because last year I said 11-6 to 9-8. It's about 2 to 3 games. 12-5 to 10-7, 10-6 to 7-9. Yeah. So about a 3-game stretch. They can either go 12-5, 9-8, 8-9. That's my thought process on that. Again, a lot of it depends on how the team is doing, Tua being healthy, health. And that's the thing, and that's why I always wait to make these. You don't know. Looking at the schedule, anyone can get hurt at any point. Not saying I want to, not saying it's going to happen, but anyone can get hurt at any point and completely change the trajectory of their season. Look at the Saints when the Dolphins faced them in 2020 when it came to that Monday night. I think it was Monday night game, and their whole team was decimated by COVID. And the Dolphins won that game. So anything could happen. But again, I think best case scenario, you're looking at 12-5. I think full healthy Tua. Jalen Ramsey comes back around like week 12. Red hot. I think you're looking at 12-5. Worst case scenario, I think they go 9-8, 8-9. I think they go on a little bit of a tear where they lose. Again, worst case scenario, I think they lose to Tennessee. I think they lose to Dallas, especially if Tua is not in there. I think they lose to the Giants. And then they could either lose to the Broncos or they can get swept by the Bills. Again, 9-8, 8-9. That's worst case scenario. But that's my thoughts. Comment below. Let me know what you guys think. What's your schedule? What's your record prediction? What's your best case scenario and your worst case scenario? What's your record prediction? Also, link is in the chat for the Pick'em League. Be sure to sign up before Thursday's game, because if you're late and you try to catch up and be the winner, you're going to be behind a certain amount of points. So the link is in the very top of the description for the Pick'em League. I will remind you tomorrow, and I will also remind you Wednesday for the picks. But comment below. Let me know what you think of my record prediction. Again, I'm pretty spot on. I told you my standings when it comes to record predictions. I'm only off by a game. So they're either going 12-5 or they're going 9-8. Or they're going, yeah. So let's see how this pans out. But I'll see you guys tomorrow. Like usual, stay classy and fins up.